On vendors, Mike here with 720 Vending. Today we are going to be doing a quick repair video on one of my machines. This is a very common problem if you have a Dixie Narco or a Vendo machine that is an older style. This is more pertaining to like say if you have a Series 2 controller, it constantly says homing on the display, and it's trying to get the machine to be ready for a soda, a dispensing, but it keeps cycling through like it's never stopping. And a lot of times that's due to these little micro switches going bad that stop the motor where it's supposed to stop on the cam. If you go to buy these switches from, like, say, DNS Vending, Capital Vending, great. If you're not skilled in doing this yourself, you can buy them from there, but they're about $20 a piece or a little bit more. What I'm going to show you today is using this $10 kit off of Amazon, $10 parts off of Amazon. So I get 10 of these switches for $10 on Amazon, on how to do the work yourself and repair it and not have to pay a fortune for it. So like and subscribe. Let me know what you think of this. If it helps you, drop a comment down below. Enjoy the show. What's going on, vendors? Mike here with 720 Vending. Sorry for the voiceover on this. I did record audio while I was recording, but the audio turned out not quality enough for what I would so choose. So this is a Vendo 475. I did a personal upgrade to it using a Dixie Narco system. All of the micro switches are still original except for the 6 that have been replaced at the bottom. Those have been replaced because the same problem I had with this that I'm having right now, I've had before. So these 3 on the outer edge, the 3 on the other edge have been replaced. The 2 in the middle have not. The black one on the left is my problem child today. When you click on it, it no longer clicks. So this whole video is to do a DIY replacement without spending $30 or $40 per switch from a vendor. I purchased a 10-pack of micro switches off of Amazon for 10 bucks. Easy peasy, they work great, but they don't have a little metal, the tooth on there. Well, there is a way around it. It is an easy fix. And at this point, I remembered I forgot to turn off the power of the machine. I can't get to the power cord. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to disconnect the transformer from the controller, which will shut down the power to all of the electronics. The refrigeration is still running, but the electronics to the motors and all the important things is shut down. So I've got my GoPro mounted up here. These are 110 volt motors. These are basically the same motors that they have on Dixie Narcos that they have on Vendos. So this will work for whether you have a Dixie or a Vendo. Originally this machine was a single price machine. I have since converted it, so the inside switch that was used for the single price to keep the motor running is no longer used. So I still keep it there because it keeps the motor, keeps everything in alignment, but the inside switch is no longer used. So you take a Phillips screwdriver and take out the 2 screws and remove it from the machine. What happens is when these switches fail, the machine will keep trying to home the column, which means rotate around until the spring pops up into one of the notches. Well, the problem is if the switch isn't clicking up as fast as the tooth is going up, it'll keep cycling around and dropping all your product out of your machine. Don't want to lose those, especially on $3.50 monster cans. So what I did was I took my pocket knife and I broke the switch that was broken. Who cares, it's broken. So what I do is I take my fingers and I separate the micro switch just enough to get the new metal bar in, and it's going to use the back slot. Fingernails, pocket knife, you can use that. Just wedge it open just enough. maybe a 1/16 of an inch. That's all you have to do. And then you slip one end in, slip the other, and just push the switch back closed again. Voila, you have a brand new micro switch, saving yourself $30 on the switch. Plus you can get them from Amazon. They're overnighted, easy peasy, quick and easy. So I'm gonna recycle the old switch that I took apart and put it behind this one. And then I put the insulator back on there. It's no longer needed for the insulator, but I put everything back the way it was just to keep everything in proper alignment. So these switches last anywhere from 10 to 20 years. This machine's probably from the mid-90s, so it's well past 30 years on these switches. Sodas explode, it gets contact, it gets stuff in the switches. It happens. Switches back up, reconnect the connector, and you're good to go. So all nice, neat. It looks like it was always there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and do the one right next to it. That way I have all the switches in this machine replaced. At this time, go ahead and smash that like button, hit the subscribe, and hit the bell notification if you want to be notified when I drop new videos. I always appreciate the support. If these videos help you out, drop a comment below. I'm always happy to help out anyone whenever I can. And again, yeah, I'm rambling here on the video. That switch hasn't failed yet, but I don't want to come back here in a couple of weeks to a switch failure, so I'm just going to change it out while I'm right here. Be careful while you're using a pocket knife. Like I said, I just stick my knife in there, twist it a little bit, and it pops it open just enough to get the little tab out. Most micro switches are exactly the same, even the ones that have been on the machines for 30 years. The design hasn't changed for these cherry switches. You slip it in there, it's got two little tabs to hold it in place and to pivot on. You put your two screws back in there, you put the dead switch back in there, and then you put the insulator on there. The insulator was there for when these switches down here were running 110 volts through them. It made sure that you didn't accidentally ground the switch to the machine. So these are going to go back on here. As you can tell, it takes just a few minutes to change these switches out. Very easy to do, very much a DIY project for a vendor. Save yourself the money on a service call. Take care of it yourself. And so I'm going to get all my tools cleaned up here, and I'm going to go ahead and simulate what happens if, say, the switch is stuck in the down position. What brought this problem up on this machine is I got there one day, I opened the door, and I had sold 4 monsters. I'm like, okay, no big deal. Well, when I closed the door, it went homing and dropped out 4 more monsters. And that's when I realized the switch was malfunctioning. So I'm going to pull the door shut part of the way here and then reconnect everything. The machine's going to be powering back up. Give it a minute or so. I'm going to get the camera mounted here so I can show you the test. So I'm going to hold down this little switch and hit the door switch at the same time. It's going to cause it to vend a soda because it's going to think that the machine's that the level's out of place. So it cycles back around, drops back into place, works just fine. I changed the one on the Dr. Pepper column. I'm going to pull the same stunt, catch the can, throw it up there. I'm going to do one more just because I have it. I like keeping them double layered. These Vendos drop the cans really quickly. So if you guys like this content, like and subscribe. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks for watching.